Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Yeah, okay, copy that. You hear that, kid?
Actually, I didn't get that because I don't speak garble.
Wow, these prima donnas. Okay, kid, I basically said you got one more take at this. We only have one more can to open, so it's go on my signal.
Okay, I think you said it's go on your signal and we only have one can left. Okay, I'm ready to go.
That was it, kid. You missed your cue. What's going on here?
Oh, son of a... Alright, I'm just gonna go, okay?
That's fine, kid. Just go whenever you're comfortable.
Okay. Here I go. One second. When I'm stressed out, I open up a can of the Living Artist Podcast. Oh, God. What is it? You know what, guys? This doesn't even make sense. Open up a can of the Living Artist? The can of whoop-ass. I'm out of here.
I know. I hear you. That's the best you're going to get today. It's Friday. It's the Friday before Labor Day weekend. And that's all I got for you today. Sometimes you shoot for the stars and you hit the roof. What movie? Anybody know the quote? I'll wait. Okay, I'm not going to wait. But welcome back to the podcast, everybody. The intro may or may not have anything to do with the podcast, but sometimes you just got to keep the ball rolling. Sometimes you got to open up that can and just look into the camera and say the bullshit lines. Okay, no. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about doing less. And I don't mean doing less in a sense of learning how to say no. We've talked about that before. Or getting really present. That's also very important and a part of it. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is getting clear on the things that you really get lit up by and the things that drag you down. And I'm going to start off by painting a very clear picture of this from a personal perspective, so you kind of get what I'm talking about here. So I have been both types of people. I have been that kind of type A personality when it comes to work, the go, 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 come hell or high water, just sit down and crank it out. Get things done. Doesn't matter how you feel, whatever you have to do to just sit down and make sure you tick all the boxes, clear your list, get your work done. And I have also been the other type of person, which was kind of forced upon me. And I still am a little bit, like I'm still really struggling with my health. And it has forced me to get really clear on the things that I actually need to do and the things that I actually want to do and the things that I actually have energy to do. I typically do these podcasts when I have a window of good energy, a moment when I can actually sit down and muster up like a good episode. And I got to pick my battles. I got to pick my time wisely. I got to pick my energy wisely. And if something's not working, I just scrap it. So these are very different ends of the spectrum. In a sense, it's been a bit of a gift in that way because you can see, and if you are that type of person, the first type of person, the type A type of person who just cranks stuff out and just go, 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 answers every email, cranks a painting out every day, gets it up online on 8 different marketplaces, markets everything, answers everybody, gets in the studio, blah, 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 so on and so forth, administrative work, you name it, does everything And by the end of the day, you're just wiped. And then you get up and you do it again. I prided myself on really taking care of myself to a place where I had that energy to get through all that stuff. But it does weigh on you after a while. It can bring you down. And I heard somebody talking about something like this recently. It's not as if you just get through all these things and you crank through these things and you get to the end of your list and everything's done. No, typically what will happen is the universe will give you more because that's the energy you're putting out there. That kind of frantic, like, I can do this, I can handle all this, give me more. So the universe just keeps giving you more until you get to that place where you really just burn out, or you have some chronic pain or chronic illness or whatever, like a myriad of symptoms like I've had recently. And it just completely sets you back, knocks you on your ass, and makes you reevaluate your life. Now, some of the things that are going on with me don't have to do with me creating them, but they definitely exacerbate my situation. Trying to fit all this stuff in and get everything done and be a people pleaser and, show up to everybody's stuff and like everybody's stuff and be a supporter of everybody and get all my stuff done and get out there and be proactive and be productive. These things all can drain you, which takes away some of your life force and your energy to kind of heal and get better at other things. So that's not really what I'm talking about specifically for everybody, but it is a good illustration of the extremes, right? These extremes that we all can go to, that we can fall into. And I think so many times nowadays we are bombarded with people who are just super achievers, right? All these people, these influencers online, you got to do this, you got to do this. And you're only seeing the times when they're really posting. So you don't really know what their downtime is like or what the rest of their lives are like. But like the Gary Vaynerchuks and stuff. And there are those rare people who can actually just get that done. They thrive on it and they just can continue to do that, burn the candle at both ends, and they're fine somehow. By the grace of God or something, they can do it. Well, not everybody's like that. And even if you are like that now, it might catch up to you. And honestly, I'm going to argue for the sake of this podcast, it really isn't utilizing your time well. You may think it's utilizing your time well. You may think it's what you're supposed to be doing, just filling every single minute, every single hour of the day with productive minutes and productive tasks that you're checking off of your list and all your goals and blah, blah, blah. Some of that stuff is good. I'm not going to lie. You got to have goals. You got to have like 10x goals we've talked about in the past, doing stuff and checking things off your list. But there has to be a balance. You have to be able to get to the finish line in order to accomplish these things because you don't want to burn out. You don't want to have some sort of chronic fatigue hit you or some sort of condition hit you where it doesn't allow you to accomplish your goals because it comes up to bite you in the ass and sabotages your entire career. But more importantly, you want to be able to enjoy what you're doing. You want to be able to enjoy your life. You want to be able to enjoy your art and your career. And sometimes when you're go, go, go all the time, it takes a little bit of the fun. It takes a bit of the piss out of it. Now, it takes a little bit of the fun out of what you're trying to do. It takes a little bit of the fun and the passion out of creating your art or just being an artist or getting in the studio. If it feels like it's just something you have to, well, okay, I have done 4 hours of administrative work today. Now I've got 2 hours to get in the studio today. And then I got to break for lunch. And then I got to do my run. And then I got to get back out there and do some marketing. Like, you can get the idea here. Over time, that starts to really weigh you down, and it starts to take the fun out of it. Like any sort of pressure takes the fun out of it. So if this is happening to you, I'm sure some of you out there this is speaking to. Others, maybe you're in that go, go, go mode or that super achiever mode, and maybe you don't want to hear this right now. Well, I would recommend re-listening to this down the road when you are in one of those stages where you need to hear it and there's like a burnout. Or just be proactive and understand, coming from a person who has been there and who's done that for decades, that you do need to strike a balance in life and in your art. You're going to want to find ways to fill your energy, replenish your cup. That means your spiritual cup, your energy cup, your sustenance, your nutrition cup, your love cup, your empathy cup. All those things need to be refilled and they need to have space. You need to create space for them because if you drain them constantly, you're just not going to be operating at your best. And you might end up even becoming a little bit of like a shitty person because you're just angry or you're resentful of other people. Like, I'll give you another example. One of the things that I have had to do recently is kind of decide who I'm going to give my effort to a bit because I've been struggling so much that if I even try to just force, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm feeling bad, I'm going to put my energy out there, I'm going to be supportive. Well, sometimes, I find that that's just a one-sided thing that I'm doing. Like I'm supporting somebody and it's really not even landing with that person or this group of people or whatever, and they're not really supporting you back. You kind of just get that impression that, well, this has just become expected of me. Just like I said, the universe can give you more of something that you're trying to achieve. Like if you're pushing, it's just going to give you more to push through instead of being like, pat on the back, good job, you did all this. Well, sometimes it can be that way too. If you're like a super encouraging supporter, an empathetic person, somebody who's giving all of your support and energy to other people, sometimes it just becomes, well, that's what this person does. Oh, they expect more of that from you. It's not like they go, oh, well, I'm going to return the favor or something. So if that's happening to you, I would just take a page out of my book recently and just say, okay, let's make a list of the people in our lives who we are feeling like it's a two-way street. It's somebody who is reciprocating on some of the energy that we're putting forth. That can be a friendship, that can be a relationship, it can be love, it can be empathy, it can be support, it can be artistic support, it can just be life support. If you're having those people in your life that you're finding that you're just being sapped of energy, or that you're having some kind of energetic vampires who are sucking your energy and then just going, okay, thank you, I'm full now, I'm gone, and not giving anything back to you, okay, you might want to put them into another bucket for a while and just let that sit somewhere else in another room and don't revisit it for a while. Just focus on the people who are filling your bucket and you're filling their bucket. That's a lot of buckets. Anyway, so you get the idea. Now, it's not just with people, it's not just with support, but it's with these tasks that we do. If you find yourself being bogged down answering a bunch of emails all the time, and these are not emails that actually really need to be, it's just the super achiever in you going, I have to answer all these emails. I'm one of those people. I have all of my emails answered every day. Do I have to do that? No, I don't. There's plenty of people who reach out to me that I don't even need to answer. It's like somebody who just completely cold calls me or cold emails me out of the blue, and they don't really even need an email back from me. They don't need a response because I didn't really ask for this service or whatever it is that they're asking of me. Or there's people who are just kind of pushing you for whatever reason to do something or to respond to something, and you need to get better at deciding, is this really worthy of my time and energy right now? What am I giving up by answering these 10 or 20 or 100 emails today? Can you put them off indefinitely? Can you put them off for a week? Can you just find a better way of streamlining this, like outsourcing it in a way? Can you do a template response that you can almost apply to a group of people? There are definitely ways to handle this that can streamline it and can take a little bit of the pressure off your shoulders. Nobody is waiting at the finish line to give you a medal for answering all your emails or for doing this. For like, you did all your tasks today. Good job. Here's a cookie. It's not really about that. It's about how fulfilled are you each day, because burnout is real on every level. And you don't want to be one of these people who's sprinting all the way. This is a marathon, like I've said in the past. It's not a sprint. You want to be getting through your life and being like, oh yeah, I have energy to spare. I am enjoying everything that I do. I'm feeling fulfilled, not just like sprinting all the time, waiting to cross a finish line that just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. It seems like it's like a never-ending sprint. That is not fun. Nobody wants to be in that stage. And sometimes we learn this the hard way. Sometimes we learn it late or too late. Sometimes we have the potential to actually learn this or be aware of this before we have actually hit rock bottom or before we've experienced burnout. And maybe it doesn't land right away, but you can kind of store it away and be like, oh yeah, when that moment comes, you can be like, this is what Preston's talking about. This is where I need to kind of step back and start making a list of things that I need to really devote my time to and my energy to. And that's the last thing I'm really going to say. I think we get the idea here. But one thing that's really important, and I think for a lot of people, like I'm not very good at doing lists, but because I think this is so important, I think it's worthy of your time. And it's something that I'm actually going to be sitting down and doing myself recently. I've done a lot of mental lists and I've filed away a lot of things that I need to really be more mindful with in my life. But I think one thing that makes it very clear is you just get a pen and paper out, you sit down and you say, things that I like and things that I don't like. It can be that simple, or it can be things that sap my energy or things that give me energy, or people that fulfill me or people who suck life out of me. It can be those types of lists. And that could all be the same thing, really. If you just say things that I like and things that I don't like, those can all fit into those different columns as well. The people, the tasks, all that stuff, the energy. And I think it's really important to do this because once you have it down on paper, it becomes much more tangible. You see it, it starts to be, oh, you know what, I can add this, I can add this. And then you start getting into a flow where you start realizing more and more things. Whereas you might have stopped mentally at 2, once you start seeing it on paper, you might come up with 10 or 20 of these things. And then it just helps you to really define them and be reminded. I know so many times I'm like, oh, I'm going to remember, but then I don't remember later, or I forget kind of the energy and the feeling that I had behind certain stuff. If you have it on a list, you have it on a list that's either in a notebook or even like taped to your computer or taped to your desk or in a desk drawer that you can look at and revisit from time to time, it makes it much more tangible and easy to stick to. And I think you're going to find that this is powerful because so many things that we think that we need to do, or we like, oh, we have to be this way. I have to do this. I have to be this way to be successful, or I have to be like a super achiever, or I have to be, go all the time on Instagram all the time, making reels and pontificating all the things that I've learned that I need to do and being an influencer and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden you've burnt out. I want you to see the things that are actually important in your life. And what better way to do that than writing a list of things that actually light you up and things that don't light you up. Things that light you up and things that bring you down. That's another good 2-column list right there. So things that light you up and things that bring you down. And what you do then, once you have these things, is you just concentrate more on the things that light you up, and you start eradicating or crossing off or taking out of your life the things that bring you down. It's as simple as that. Some of these things will be easier than others. Like if it's just an email thing, okay, fine, I just want to answer these emails. Or let's say you have something that you're doing in the morning that's just a distraction that's very simple. It's just like a 5-minute thing you do. Okay, I'm just going to stop doing that thing. That's fine. But some of the more difficult ones are going to be the stuff that has to do with people or your job or tasks that you have to do that are intertwined with letting somebody down or people pleasing. But I think you can find a good way to tell these people. You can even just say, look, I'm taking a program right now, or I'm seeing a therapist right now or whatever, and they've told me that I have to do this. I have to get more clear on the things that I have time for and energy for. If you need to validate it or you need to justify it to that person, those are some ways you can do that. Or you can just say, look, I need to focus right now on some things in my life or in my relationships that are really important to me or that I've been neglecting, and I unfortunately just don't have time to do this right now. I'd love to come back to it at another time and revisit it, but at this point, I'm just going to be focusing on these things. And that's fine. That's good enough. You don't really owe anybody an explanation. As long as it's not going to get you fired if you have a day job, or it's not going to screw up some sort of income-related aspect of your life that helps you pay your bills, I think it's all good. And I think you will find that you have more energy and more time to do the things that you love, and you'll actually attract things with more ease because you're more focused and more centered and more present with these things. Once you have defined these more, it's just like opens up a door for things to come to you a little bit more easily. You'll get in a flow state. Your life will be in much more of a flow state. And yes, you will manifest and attract new things and things that you might have been blocking because you were just giving off a frantic go, go, go energy that's just like, okay, this person can't really, this person really isn't ready for this or couldn't accept this right now, even if he wanted to. And this goes for sales as well. Whenever I'm in a good flow, whenever I have a balance in my life, an energy balance in my life, I've got a good attitude, I feel good, I feel centered, I feel grateful, I feel like I have good relationships in my life. Whenever I'm like that, my sales just come in, boom, 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 like clockwork. And it is just so much easier than you'd think it should be. You think you have to really fight tooth and nail for these things. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes when you get into that flow state, it just flows to you. So I'm going to end it at that for right now. Hope you had a good Labor Day. If you're listening to this in the United States, after Labor Day, obviously, that's when this is going to be released. I think the day after Labor Day. Hope you had a good time. Hope you were safe. Hope you were able to replenish some of your energy and some of your relationships and so on and so forth. Hope you got something out of this podcast. And you know what? If you didn't, maybe you're just not in that stage of being ready to receive it. But someday, I hope you will be. And someday, hopefully, you can revisit this and it will resonate with you a bit more. Looking forward to bringing you some more episodes in the near future. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast, everybody. Be good to yourselves. Be good to everybody else out there. And we'll see you next time.
Oh, man. So much pressure. It's got back to me. I got into the podcast now, bookend it with a bunch of crap. Oh, thank God. Saved by the walkie-talkie. So long, suckers!
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.